All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another Bleacher Creatures podcast episode. It is me, Alex, and then there's Skip here. And you may hear him snoring throughout the show. But I've got my dear friend out there in California, Jonathan Rock. You say it.
Hello, Alex.
What's up?
Welcome to another Super Bowl prep week for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, they're back at it again. No longer facing the Philadelphia Eagles, so it's a brand new ball game. And yeah, so let's talk about the awesomeness that was football this weekend, because it was, in my humble opinion, an awesome weekend. So gonna dive into the first game real quick. Rams Saints in New Orleans. What a game! I've got to say, what a game. Drew Brees comes out and throws a pick immediately, right?
No, that was the Philadelphia game.
That was a Philadelphia. My bad. I'm mixing up my games. Yes. But like the Saints looked like the Saints at the very beginning of the game, right? Like they were like, okay, yeah, we're out here handling business.
Not only did the Saints come out and handle business, the Los Angeles Rams looked absolutely befuddled by not only how loud the dome was, but could not get any communication across, whether it was on offense or defense. It was almost a shock that, like, oh, wait, we're on the road. Well, what do we do here? We can't get calls in. Guys are out of plays. No one was able to, figure things out for the first, 60, 75 minutes of real time here. So it took the Rams a little bit to get used to the speed of everything. But with that even being said, the Saints had a chance to kind of put this game away almost, because they left points on the table early in the game. I believe they had a drop touchdown pass where they had to settle for a field goal, and what turned out to be a 13-3, I think it was at halftime, should have been 21-24 to nothing, or it should have been a bigger lead for the Saints, and they kind of let the Rams kind of linger around a little bit by not taking advantage of those opportunities. And just from years past, from what I've seen and what's kind of played out in situations like this, if you're taking field goals over touchdowns, you're playing to lose at that point.
Yeah, true. Just to reiterate your point, there was definitely a couple of times during the broadcast that you could see Sean McVay getting visually frustrated, because he'd ask Jared Goff, like, "Hey, can you hear me?" And he would be like, "No, I can't hear you. Like, I can't listen to anything you're saying." So to that, I have to give the credit to the Saints fans, because they were being loud as F out there. But yeah, no, you're completely right. The Rams definitely looked flat coming out of the gate. I think the biggest thing is that they figured it out. And I mean, let's be honest. If you look at all four coaches in the conference championship games, just an elite level of coaching at the moment. So just really impressive on their part. But yeah, I mean, I think McVay did a really good job of kind of realizing, like, hey, we need to change things up here in the second half, because it was 13-3, and they were down. They knew that they couldn't just come back here and tie it up. They had to really get something going here. And so the Rams defense showed up as well in the second half, and the Saints, I have to give them credit where credit is due, because they fought to the very end. And this is probably too early to start even talking about it, but I do want to mention it. The PI call. Now, that doesn't guarantee the Saints winning, but it's a much better likelihood that they win. So
still, it's no spot for the whistle to be swallowed. When you have Roby Nickel Coleman, the corner for the Rams. I'm sorry, I'm butchering his name. I think it's Robbie Nickel Coleman. Let me.
No, I think it's Roby Coleman. Like 90, yeah, because it's an R and a C name.
Okay, yeah, Roby Coleman Nickel. So just couldn't get the names, properly arranged. But when he comes out and outright says, "Yeah, I was trying to, prevent a touchdown," Breeze, gets that on target. Tommy Lewis is walking into the end zone at that point. But again, you just can't. You can't not call that there when it's that egregious. It was no intent to play the ball. And I'm completely siding with Saints fans on this one, that they did get screwed on this call. But that's not why they lost. You lost, you left points on the table.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, it doesn't guarantee the win. Now, yes, it's under 2 minutes. You probably run down the clock. You probably will let goes out there and kicks a field goal with time expiring. But it's a field goal. We already know with this entire. I mean, you look at Cody Parkey. Let's think back 2 weeks ago and that ridiculous crap that happened. But like that's the thing is, even though it's a chip shot, you can't guarantee that you're going to score that. You've got to put points up where you could.
Exactly. And let's not forget, Drew Brees does throw an interception in overtime. Yeah, his arm may have been hit. Yes, it was tipped. But when you get to overtime, now it's back to an even playing field. And that just comes with the, nature of NFL football. Like, games and plays can turn on a literal singular dime right there. And it sucks not having the Saints in the Super Bowl right now, because we don't know how much time is left for Drew Brees. We don't know how long he can keep playing at this level. And for the Saints to get this close and fall short now 2 years in a row, it's rough. It's just downright rough, because you never know if you're going to get this close again, assuming you're able to keep the same roster and have the same bill of health for an entire season.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, you even see it. Was it in overtime that Michael Thomas just? I mean, he publicly said like he was like, I should have done something to like prevent the guy from intercepting it.
And that's a tough one to toss out there, because obviously it's his job to run routes, catch passes, throw blocks, blah blah blah. But to turn into a DB on a split-second play on a tipped pass, essentially, it is asking a lot out of one of your receivers. So it doesn't change how frustrating this is, though, for the Saints in general.
Yeah, completely. I think you're right. If I have to say, the best player on the Rams team was really Greg Zuerlein. Just ice in his veins the entire game when it was out there taking care of business. And I think it's a redemption story for him after missing 5 weeks with a groin injury and just kind of going like, man, it's really hard for kickers to not have completely healthy seasons, but I don't want to say but it's much more less likely since they're only out there for a couple plays a game. Regardless, Greg Zuerlein went out there, did his job, and did what was asked of him, and that was really the best part of it. Just nails a 50+ yarder in order to win the game, and good for the Rams. But I've got to say, this wasn't their best performance of the season.
No, it wasn't even clearly one of their better games. And kind of a buried storyline is Todd Gurley was all intents and purposes, he was benched. He looked awful. He didn't look healthy. I don't know if he's still having any lingering injury problems or he just had an off day, but that wasn't, the MVP caliber Todd Gurley we had seen pretty much all season until, he was dinged up towards the end.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think he was pretty verbal today of saying I should have been out there more. And because every single time that I saw the Rams running the ball, it was like CJ Anderson. And I was like, why is CJ Anderson out there? But I mean, Todd Gurley, if you've got any chance of beating the team that you're facing in 2 weeks, you've got to give it to that guy. I mean, you just have to, and you've got to feed him. Now, of course, if things happen the way they happened today or yesterday with the Saints and them going up early, that changes your game plan a little bit. But at the same time, like you've got to come on, Todd. Like you're MVP caliber guy every single year, offensive rookie of the year in 2015. You got to do better.
It's all shoulda, woulda, couldas at this point. What is that? Jared Goff now finds himself at 24 years old going to the Super Bowl. You know what I was doing at 24?
Yeah, I know. You were tagging shirts to get hung up somewhere.
Oh, I was just raising outright hell at Nike at the time, but, as a responsible employee.
As a responsible employee. Yeah, no. So I mean, yeah, impressive for him. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good game in 2 weeks. Now, granted, I will say this, that I think that if I had it the way that I wanted it, I would have had the other young guy in there too. But I'm sorry, I like Mahomey. So yeah, I know we're gonna be at ends on this in a minute, but yeah, the Rams win 26-23, and good for them. I'd have to say, I really like. I think I like McVay, so I think that's really the biggest reason I wanted them to win.
You know, you by saying that, you're now qualified to be a coaching candidate just by saying you like Sean McVay.
I'm in his coaching tree.
All his friends are getting jobs nowadays.
I'm in his coaching tree. I'm aware. So I think that's really my next job.
Just keep saying, yeah, I know Sean McVay. We drew up flag football plays together.
I'm gonna be like, I remember every single play because I've watched it 100 times.
I can name the entire starting blah blah blah. Like, whoop-de-doo.
Though I do have a friend who used to work for the Redskins, and apparently one of the most down to earth guys is Sean McVay. So
well, I'm not denying him as a human. Don't get me wrong, but you know,
he's your mortal enemy at this point. Let's be real.
Yeah, well, let's just say I'm back to take Los Angeles Souls once more.
There you go. Yeah, and so when did they become the LA Rams again?
2016.
Man, you know, and I was thinking about this. I was like, they made it to a Super Bowl in like 2001 with Kurt Warner, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the last time they were in the Super Bowl. They lost that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have Patriots Rams on February 3rd, 2019. The first time the Patriots and Rams met in the Super Bowl was February 3rd, 2002. It all comes full circle.
Look at that. What a wonderful world. Yeah, so then let's get to that game since we already previewed it. He's just throwing up gang signs. Okay, so the Chiefs and the Patriots, you know, it was a good game as well. This one also went into overtime. My biggest takeaway, just by knowing, or just by watching it, man, what a day that Rob Gronkowski have in order to have the best game of his season.
Not only just the best game of his season, it's like he had to remind people, yeah, he hasn't had the season people expect him to, but he's still capable of performances like that when the other 87 on the other sideline, Travis Kelce, was starting to get coronation to be the new top 10, new top tight end, with credit to George Kittle and, Zach Ertz. Those guys are great. Don't get me wrong. But it was always, Gronk as the top tier end all be all. For changing with Travis Kelce this year, he's doing all this. We saw Gronk do everything that Gronk can do. He was dominant in the blocking game, and he was back to, just catching bodies on offense. That last pitch over Eric Berry, and then the 3rd and 10 slant in overtime, just a vintage Gronk play.
Yeah, totally. No, you're completely right. Gronk absolutely was a monster the entire game. I have to say, I mean, close second for me would be Julian Edelman, just getting catches in the middle of the field and getting clocked as soon as he got him, but he kept holding on to him. I know he had that weird punt play that, like, I couldn't, it looked like it hit him, and then you look at it and, like, it doesn't look like it hit him, and it was weird. But I mean, he even said, he was like, that didn't freaking touch me. Like, get the hell away from me. That did not touch me. So
hold it really well. But to your original point about Edelman, looking like himself again, it was just a vintage Patriots offense. Edelman is the go-to guy on 3rd down, and he finds any which way to get a little bit of wiggle room, and he'll find his spot, get there, and Brady will hit him for the sticks. Yes. That is what they've been. That's been their bread and butter since Edelman essentially emerged as the go-to guy, back in, let's say, 2012, 2013.
Yeah, and then like, honestly, the craziest thing is exactly in classic New England fashion in their offense, Rex Burkhead with 2 touchdowns.
There was a running joke around New England saying, did this man win a radio contest or something to get all these touches? Because what the hell? But again, Burkhead was another buried guy on the Patriots roster. He didn't come off he didn't come off the injured reserve list until early December. Didn't get game action, for much of the season, and then slowly had to kind of like play his way back into the offense. And he did have some struggles with dropping passes, some fumble problems here and there. But again, in the big moments, bright stage, Belichick and Brady have the trust to go to a guy like him, and he gets not only what was going to be a go-ahead touchdown, but the eventual game-winning touchdown overtime as well. And we're just talking about the running game. Patriots just pushed the Chiefs around on the ground. Like there's no way around that. They were bullied.
So let's look at that real quick because I think this is interesting. So Sony Michel got the ball 29 times for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rex Burkhead had it for 12 attempts, 41 yards and 2 touchdowns. And yeah, Tom only had 1 passing touchdown. So, and I mean, if you look at comparison, Patrick had 3, Damian Williams had the other 1 rushing. So, I mean, clearly, like, I don't know. It was a great time to just go, you know what, we're gonna run it down their throats. And you can even tell. I mean, it was just absolutely disgusting, and the time of possession is ridiculous. New England had it for about 44 minutes compared to 21 minutes for Kansas City. So it blows your mind, just the way that offense ran it with such efficiency.
That's how they're going to have to play because you're not going to get into a track meet with Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. So the Patriots knew their best chance was slow the game down, basically kill as much as the clock, and make them sit on the sidelines. I think that does work both ways, though, because you got to give more credit to Mahomes and Andy Reid and the Chiefs offense because those guys still put up 31 points in one half of football after being shut out in the first half. But to go on the flip side of that, Mahomes was a little erratic at times. I think he only finished 16 of like 31, 32. So it wasn't a very efficient passing day, and he missed some open guys. There was one, I believe there was a play in the first half. It was a sequence where he misses Damian Williams on a wheel route to the end zone, just flat out overthrows him. And then on third down on that same series, he takes a sack that knocks the Chiefs out of field goal range.
Yeah, I know it was kind of ridiculous, but yeah, no, you're completely right. You've got to be smarter with the ball, and I think that's the inexperience showing itself.
And that's where I was going to paint that picture of it's typical Kansas City in the playoffs. There are moments when the stage is just a little too big and the lights are a little too bright for them. We've seen it with them in this core before. We thought it would be different this year with Patrick Mahomes. I still expect it to, change here because they have a special talent in number 15. You're gonna, have Kelsey around for a while. You're gonna have Tyreek Hill. You're gonna be able to get these freak athletes. It's just all got to come together for one complete run. And it was all right here for Kansas City. You were at home. You're the better team.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Hey, man, like if you look at it, the Chiefs historically are just they're a very unlucky team.
That ain't it, Chief. That ain't it.
Well, and I mean, look, I'm even going to turn around on you real quick. And how did you feel when was it Dietrich Wise that got the offside penalty?
No, it was D Ford for the Chiefs. Now, what's funny is Dietrich Wise, he's on the Patriots. He didn't even play that game.
Wait. I thought it was on the Patriots.
No, the offsides play was on D Ford, who clearly lined up offsides. Clearly was over the line. He was in the neutral zone. And that's just one of those, like, how do you let that happen right now? Because the Chiefs had it there. The ball bounces off Gronkowski's hands. It goes right into the lap of a Chiefs defensive back, and it looks like it's all wrapped up in there. But
oh, you're right. It was on him.
D Ford is lined up offsides, and when you give guys like Tom Brady, another shot, they make you pay, and you will pay with your life in the playoffs when it comes down to plays like that.
Yeah, and the other thing I really noticed about that defense, the Chiefs defense, is played a lot of cover too, and Tommy was just sliced them up. I mean, he was like, I've got underneath routes. I'm going to give it to my guys, and then that opens up the middle of the field. Not only that, but then you get down in the end zone and you run it down your throat, which was the game plan. Converting three third downs that were 3rd and 10s in overtime is inexcusable.
I think the final numbers were like 13 of 19 or something on 3rd down like that. But
I can check right now.
Just that alone, the Chiefs almost had a refusal to blitz Tom Brady, and you can beat him if you just rush him up the middle and push him off his spot. Give him happy feet. He was perfectly fine just hanging out back in the pocket and just picking them apart one by one.
Yeah, it was 13 of 19. You're right. Yes, I do agree with you. They did not blitz enough. The Chiefs didn't. And then, all right. So I know this is ticky tacky, but I'm still gonna say it. Like, what the hell was that roughing the passer call?
Just like you said, it was a ticky tack call.
like I don't know I don't even know what Chiefs defensive end it was, or if it was a tackle, but like just had a hand on him, and they were like roughing the passer. Literally, like, did not do anything else other than just put a hand on him, and they said roughing the passer.
Those rules,
I was livid.
Those rules about hitting the quarterback anywhere near the head, face mask, helmet, even if it looks like it resembles it, it's going to cause a flag. And a lot of people, are upset with how officials did have their hand in some of the key moments in this weekend's games, but unfortunately, there's no way around it at this point. Yes, they need to look into making some calls reviewable. I know Belichick has been wanting at least pass interference reviewed for the past couple seasons. This could be another thing that comes up in the offseason, to where if a call is that blown or is not warranted, maybe it does need to become a challengeable offense at that point.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. I will say also, I really thought that, excuse me, the Patriots offensive line played really well. I mean, yeah, like you said, Tom Brady was back there sitting back there just going, all right, I'll wait till someone opens up, whatever.
And I think that comes with not only just having a good game plan set up, but this is one of the few, I can even say this, one of the few times I've seen a Patriot offensive line dominate the way they did this. Not only this game, but going back to the Charger game week before. Brady has been kept clean, and running holes have been aplenty.
Yeah, no, totally. I will say
their hands will be full against an Aaron Donald.
I was bummed that Philip Dorsett got thrown a ball and he wasn't able to catch it, because weren't they on like some kind of crazy streak?
Oh, yeah, it was on a technicality, because it was technically a throwaway, but Dorsett just happened to be in the area.
Yeah, so they were like, oh, it was towards him.
Hell of a catch for the touchdown, though. Like, I was like,
yep.
Okay, Philip.
Yep,
okay.
Totally. No, you're right. Yeah, so I mean, good win by the Patriots.
Last point.
Go ahead.
I just think this is just another bookmark in the Brady legacy, because that's a proving stage. That's a game where you're on the road, you're not picked to win. Your successor is across the field. It's like this was supposed to be your quote unquote funeral. He rises to the occasion. He finds a way to come through. Throws for another 300 plus yards. Money throw after money throw. Like, I know some people still don't want to give him the credit that he has warranted to this point. And I just say, shame on you.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, the narrative going into this game was like, oh, the Patriots aren't as good as they used to be. The Patriots aren't the team that they were before. They've shown that they can get beat, yada yada yada. So what? It's a new season. The past doesn't matter. You've got to perform today, and they did. So good on them. Glad that I mean I like to see Tom Brady succeed. I'm not gonna lie, and so I'm happy for him. But I think on the other end, I think the Chiefs come back. I really do think that they're back here at some point, if not next season, the season after that, or something like that, and that they're gonna be more experience for sure. Because I mean, if you look at the Patriots side of the ball, man, the amount of experience that's on there is ridiculous.
And as long as number 12 is the quarterback and the hooded Sith Lord is the coach, they're going to be right in the thick of things.
Did you see Bill Belichick chuck the tablet?
I mean, have you tried using a Windows tablet? Those things are infuriating.
All I know is that I saw him go like this, like, and I was like, oh, that's gonna hit someone. But yeah, no, agreed. Okay, so this is a legitimate question because I think we need to ask it.
Go.
Did we miss Kareem Hunt this game?
He's given the Patriots problems in the past. He's given a lot of teams problems in the past.
So yeah, we missed Kareem Hunt.
I mean, I'm not going to outright say that because
but it's got to be said. It's got to be talked about. I feel like no one's. I mean, you see all these shows and they're talking about Tom Brady, but like nobody talks about like Kareem Hunt. If he was in this game, it may be a different game. I mean, I'm not going to say that it is, but.
Well, it doesn't change the fact the Chiefs were still able to, finish locking down the 1 seed and still were able to win with a pretty solid production out of Damian Williams and Spencer Ware. So,
but also like hypothetically speaking, if Kareem Hunt's in this game, are you really forced to score 24 points to force overtime in the fourth quarter?
Mind you, that was someone who was fired like the week after Thanksgiving, so that's still like far and away from. Like, that's a big what if, because, that's, like I said, someone who's been off the team now for, almost 2 months now, and it really can't be taken into consideration because the Chiefs, just kind of kept moving right along after that. It's almost doing a disservice to the guys that were still on the team.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right about that. I'm not. I won't defer. I won't shy away from that. But
now,
okay.
Now, another topic that came up this weekend was NFL overtime rules. So both conference championship games go to overtime. On the Patriots side of things, they win the coin toss, they go right down, they score the touchdown. And then you have the Saints who get the ball first in overtime but turn it over, and the Rams subsequently kick a field goal. Do you feel like the NFL needs to change their overtime rules to adapt to, say, more of a college-based format, or to at least where both teams get at least one possession?
Yes and no. I mean, I'd like to see them go with the college format in the sense like you give each team a possession, but also at that point get rid of the clock. But you've also got to make it more difficult. Like have them start at the 40, because I think in college you start at the 20 for the first possession, and then they move it back. Like give them field goal range, but don't give them like that because we know in college it's a lot. Kickers are a lot more shoddy. You don't really know, yada yada yada. But like if you're a pro kicker in the NFL, you got to be able to hit from like 55 and under at least once or twice. So that's why I say like you should give them like start at the 40 and have them actually like have to put together a drive. But yeah, that'd really be my thing is give them a possession at that point. If it's a turn, now the Saints one, it's a turnover. Like that could have happened on any play, and you would have, and you kind of you're giving up points or something. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I haven't seen a problem with at least guaranteeing a team a possession if they don't score a touchdown. For the people who are complaining that want the rules to be changed, Kansas City Chiefs, put the Patriots in 3 3rd and longs, and they converted each one. They marched right down the field, and they got the touchdown. For the Saints side of things, Breeze gets hit, ball goes up, turnover. That's just how football plays out sometimes. If you really want, like, if you felt like you were the better team and you had to win, you have to make stops when they matter the most. So the Kansas City, you didn't deserve to go to the Super Bowl. Your defense was trash, and you couldn't make the stops when they counted. That's just how it is right now.
No, you're completely right. I mean, for a team to give up 524 yards is pretty disgusting.
At home.
At home. Yeah. So, no, you're completely right. I think that, but I mean, I don't know. I think I'd like to see a little bit of the overtime rules change. I mean, a lot of that's the thing is like I feel like you kind of have to I don't feel like you have to discount them, but you kind of have to think about like, well, are these wins legitimate just because the system's in place?
Win is a win.
Win's a win's a win.
You have to get a win. There's a reason there's not a best of 3, a best of 5, a best of 7 in football. It's one game, winner take all.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. You're completely right. And you know, game and that's the thing is like both games that could have gone the other way, and then we're seeing a Chiefs Saints Super Bowl.
Still, I personally want the Patriots Saints for Brady Breeze, but like I said, bring it full circle. The Rams can go get that work.
Mm-hmm. I will say something that I don't know if you sent it to me, if I just read it on my own this morning. Tom Brady, classy move, going to the Chiefs locker room and wanting to talk to Patrick Mahomes.
Well, that's game recognizing game, because not only should Patrick Mahomes should be the MVP. I don't think there's a reason that he's not, but I think that's Tom Brady, you know, not just outright recognizing that Mahomes is a special talent and he's got a place in this league. There was a report out there saying that Mahomes might be getting a $200 million contract. That's the future.
Yeah, no, true. Him and Wentz are the two guys that are probably going to get paid that much money.
There's no guarantee Carson Wentz stays in Philly. That's not guaranteed.
Yeah. Okay, so before we get too sidetracked, I guess let's talk about the game a little under 2 weeks away. A little bit. I'm sure we're going to do another episode on it, but let's at least mention it and give our incredibly early predictions. Now the Patriots are -2. They're favorites right now.
And they opened at +1, so whew, that was a lot of money flying in a few hours.
Yeah. So clearly the America, not just Vegas, you can't say Vegas anymore, is leaning definitely a little bit more Patriots, especially with all the money going that way. What do you think the Rams have to do to I'm not even gonna say to win. I'm gonna say to like make it a competitive game.
It's going to start with Aaron Donald, you know, continually be an absolute terror. The man's absolutely unblockable. I saw some odds posted that he's like +2,000 or something like that to be Super Bowl MVP. Like that's worth throwing $10, $15 on alone. But the Rams essentially can't revert back to the second half season of how they were. So if you look at how the Rams played in the first half of the season, the second half, it's almost a little, I don't want to say bipolar, but they definitely weren't as efficient on offense and defense as they were maybe the first half of the year. They're just not going to have to be intimidated by the Patriot mystique. So, you know, do what like, you know, the Giants and Eagles did is like show up to win. Like you have to have that mentality is that you're not just as good, you're better than that team across from you. Like, yeah, they may have one of the greatest players at the quarterback position, but, you know, they're going to have to compete just like, you know, you're going to have to. And
Yeah.
Jared Goff, you can't be afraid of this. You can't have Sean McVay hold your hand through the entire game. There's going to be moments where you're going to have to make that play. You're going to have to make that decision because you know Belichick is going to try his best to confuse that poor child.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think is really the key is Goff has to perform like he did in the first half of the season. I mean, if you look at his stats, right? He turned the ball over a lot in the second half of the season, and just didn't really look efficient. So that's definitely what he needs to go back to. Now, you said that McVay can't hold his hand. That's exactly what I think he should be doing, is that telling like, yo, coach, what am I doing out there? And that really the biggest reason I think that is because it's worked so far. I mean, you know, it has. So I'm going to say that they definitely need to rely on Sean McVay and yeah, let their tackles and that defensive line and Sue get after him, because yeah, if they beat the Patriots offensive line off, you know, right off the line of scrimmage, then that's on the Patriots offensive line.
Well, I still have PTSD from, exceptional D-line performances in Super Bowls, so how many times can I fall for that act?
A couple times. I mean, you've fallen for it twice. 3 times.
I'm putting Philly in that group because they, essentially clinched the game on a strip sack. But, to beat Tom Brady, you have to have a solid group of 4 guys up front, and you're not going to find too many better than the Rams. And when you have a perennial talent like Aaron Donald, he's going to cause a lot of problems for the Patriots in both the passing and running games. He can't be moved. He's an absolute. That's all I can keep saying. He's just an absolute terror.
Yeah, no, completely right. I concur with you. I think that's going to be the key there. Now, on the Patriots side, I think we just have to keep feeding Gronk and the running backs the ball, huh?
It's the same formula as always. Quick throws, get the ball out before someone can hit Brady, and play ball control. Keep the high-powered offense on the sideline. And with this being another indoor game, conditions aren't going to be a factor. You have every reason to perform just as well, if not better. So I think it's just a matter of playing mistake-free football. Don't throw interceptions when you're in the red zone, especially on the 1-yard line. And the same thing goes for the Rams. Don't allow yourself to fall behind.
Yeah. Yeah, you're completely right.
I think, the Rams do have a very good chance of winning this game. Don't get me wrong. I do want the Patriots to win. I'm actively cheering for them. But this is not going to be this ain't a cakewalk. It's the Super Bowl. Shenanigans happen.
Exactly. Yeah, we've seen the stupidest things happen. I still always think about the lights going off.
There are still some people who really, really think that was staged.
I mean, can you blame them? That comeback was pretty ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. And, you think about, how many close Super Bowls we've had, going back, and I think the last real blowout, I mean, the Broncos Panthers was pretty boring, but a gambling win.
Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks literally came out there and won in the first quarter.
Yeah, no. Like, the only thing I remember from that Super Bowl was the first time I thought I was going to have to choke somebody out.
Oh, I remember that. Yep, I do remember that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, personal anecdote there. Yeah, no, so that's cool. Anyway, okay, yeah, I mean, do you want to wrap this up since your team is appearing?
The last thing I will say, there is one person I know who is a Rams fan. So if you're listening, Brandon Paquin, old friend from Nike, from the original days. He's a guy that was with the Rams when they were running out the Sam Bradfords, the Zach Stacys, the Brandon Gibsons, the post Mark Bulger era, post Steven Jackson. It was looking a little rough. That man has been waiting for a shot of redemption at the Patriots. And, buddy, I wish your guys and your team the best of luck, but you know what's waiting on the other side for you, sir.
All right, and that's going to be our episode today, guys. Let's go find us on Twitter, find us on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter, RonCal33BPP. His is Jonathan_R. Brandon, if you want to go find and just spam him, I won't blame you. And any other Rams fans, go ahead and spam him. Who cares? He'll enjoy it. The show's on Twitter, Bleach Preach Pod. Instagram, Bleacher Preachers Podcast. Other than that, find Jonathan. Find us on, we're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play.
Yes, sir.
What?
Are we still on Stitcher?
Yeah, we are on Stitcher. I thought you said Tinder, and I was like, we are not on Tinder. Would you like to date a podcast, or at least find us for a hookup?
That's the beauty. We both show up.
This is an interesting turn of events. So find us, guys. Rate us. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye. And we will talk to you guys soon. We are overdue for a hockey podcast, so that may be next.
Maybe later.
Maybe later. And apparently Brad Hunt got sent home to Minnesota.
Here, go home with them. Bye.
Bye.